I need to put my pants down. Pants on the ground, pants on the ground. Looking like a fool with your pants on the ground.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Words Are Hard show, the show where the three of us pick a random topic out of the randomizer, and we go from there.
Yeah. Give us your topics, give us what you want us to do, you know the drill. Roll it.
Today we're going to talk about video game accessories.
Accessories?
That's right. So we've talked about video games and games, we've talked about consoles and consoles. What about the accessories that go along with them?
So you're talking like keyboards, mice, or like old school like racing wheels?
I think a keyboard and a mouse is
from
more
the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Yeah, like
I knew someone that had one.
A keyboard and mouse are more essential. It's like saying a controller is an accessory.
Sure.
But I mean, like, yeah, like you mentioned the Power Glove. Right?
I knew someone that had the Power Glove.
Did you?
I've seen them. It
was terrible.
I saw the left-handed Power Glove too.
You remember that from The Wizard?
The Wizard. That was a great movie.
When he was like,
it was basically a big commercial for Super Mario Brothers 3.
I've got the Power.
Nintendo in general.
The Power Glove. It's so bad.
Yeah, it was bad. All right. It didn't work the way they said it would.
Put the power in your hand.
It was very janky controls when you tried to play a game with it. It was terrible.
I don't know. I mean, they had to have tried something at some point or another, right, in order to move forward.
Well, that's the thing. I think that's one of those items that Nintendo knows they did it, but they don't want to talk about it. But that's still not as bad as the Virtual Boy, as far as Nintendo admitting that they did something.
The fact that they only released 5 games for it speaks
16
volumes for
16 games. Yeah. Anyway.
That's not an accessory. So
as a kid, I ended up having I had a racing wheel, like an actual like racing wheel that plugged into a serial port on the computer, and it
did it have did you have the gas and brake pedal or just the wheel?
Well, that's the thing. There were 2 pedals that were on the side of the.
So it was like Sean's car.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like tick, ding, tick, ding. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah.
See, I grew up when video games started to become big, so I remember the first wheels that came out. The first few wheels that came out, it was terrible.
Yeah.
You were better off using a normal controller to try and drive a car because it was so touchy to try and use the wheel. Just a little move like that, and your car would be skittering off to the side of the road.
Well, that's the kind of cool thing with the racing wheel that I had is that it was this red RCA like racing wheel that had this feedback to it that like depending on where your car was going, it would like kind of fight you on it too.
Yeah, but Greg is talking about like 1962 compared to like
or like 1992. But anyway, that's where I was going with that. I've seen that the wheels got better and better and better as you go. And nowadays, if you went and bought yourself one of those gaming steering wheels, it feels kind of like you're really driving a car.
It would probably even come with a gear shift and stuff.
Some of them do. Yeah.
Okay, you can buy
full racing setups like with chair and like.
Have you heard of the trucking game where you can drive transport trucks? It's like Trucking USA or something like that.
Yeah.
Someone we mutually know that I currently work with.
Yeah.
Loves that game and was going to spend like hundreds of dollars on a full setup. It's like a steering wheel. It's got all the different shifters. It's got the pedals. Everything that you would have in the cab of a truck is in this setup, and you would set it up at your table and play the game.
Fuzzy dice.
You'd have to add your own fuzzy dice.
A road woman of the night.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Comes with it. You open up the box. She's like, thank God.
It'd be a blow-up doll.
That's fair.
Yeah.
A lot lizard is what they're called.
For me, I mean, other than that racing wheel, I really didn't have much except for the PS2. For the PS2, I had you guys remember how the power button was on the very back?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had this thing that like attached to the console itself that put the power button at the front.
It's called a coat hanger. You just.
And that's like, so I mean, I had that. I mean, I had the multi-tap that allowed you to be able to do, play with 6 people instead of just 2.
Okay.
That type of thing.
See, the biggest. I remember one time when the first time that it was like I got an accessory that was completely useless and obsolete was when my parents bought me an Xbox. They bought a used Xbox and they got me a couple controllers, and then they bought me a memory card. And this was the first time that they bought something that wasn't, Nintendo 64 or the PlayStation 1, and I was just like, I don't need this. It all saves right on the console. They're like,
What kind of a memory card did they buy for you that they thought you needed it for the Xbox?
It was an Xbox memory card. They had them.
Really?
Yeah, and they go right into the controller. There was ports for them.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And on the back they had 2 giant slots that you put into the controller, and it was basically like, well, they were still working out the whole internet connectivity thing. You can port your profiles over and stuff like that, but it wasn't that useful for anything. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Like I said, I mean, there was I'd never had it, but there was the mouse for the Super Nintendo, which the only thing it was good for was Mario Paint.
Oh, Mario Paint was. You remember the in Mario Paint you would do like the music sheet maker,
Yeah.
or whatever. That shit was fun.
There's
I never
people.
played Mario Paint.
There's people that make songs and stuff on YouTube with those sounds.
Currently?
Oh yeah,
Oh wow.
you can search. Yeah, there's a whole YouTube
Yeah,
thing
he
for
didn't
it.
say they were good songs. He just said
Yeah.
they were making songs. And
That's fair.
My favorite, I guess, sort of shitty accessory that I saw was the turbo. Not the turbo controller, and I don't think it was the turbo pad, because that was the one that you would run on, right?
Oh, you're talking about the NES.
Yeah, I'm talking about the hunk of plastic that you put your. It was.
Oh, so the speed pad. Yeah.
Yeah. You would put your controller in it. It was literally a flat piece of plastic that your controller fit into, so you could put it down on the table and play like this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's useless.
Yeah. A little bit. What other sort of accessories were
So
there?
my favorite accessory that I never owned when I was a kid and I wished I had would be Robbie the Robot from the NES.
Yeah. I was
Yeah?
gonna say Rob the Robot.
I wish I had gotten one of those.
It kind of worked though, didn't it too?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't terrible.
Just didn't really have much use. There wasn't.
Well, I mean, the 2 games for it were something, right?
There was Gyro Robo or something like that, and I don't even remember the other one.
Well,
Stack 'em or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, there was a stacking where you had to.
He stacks the tops, and then there was the other one, the Gyro Robo, which is he would pick up the gyros, and he'd put it down on whatever button to open doors and stuff for
Yeah,
you.
that one. Yeah. I mean, the Angry Video Game Nerd, of course, covered most of them that were out there that were really, really
Most
bad.
accessories, the Rollin' Rocker.
The Rollin' Rocker, which was absolutely terrible. And I was about to bring that up.
It's a pad with like half a ball on the bottom that you would stand on and
And try to move,
can
which
rock
basically
around.
it never
I
worked.
think I remember seeing that in the store at one point, and I
Really?
was like, "That's stupid."
See, that's the thing is you grew up in the time where you would remember going through the stores and seeing the accessories.
Yeah.
I don't remember too much outside of like they're like, oh, you can get a Mad Catz shit controller and then a Mad Catz like I remember when
It's funny because I remember, again, it's the same as with the steering wheel that I was talking about. I remember when third-party controllers first started getting made,
Yeah.
and they were the crappy. It was the cheapest controller out there. You were better off buying the actual brand name controller than you would be buying the third-party ones. And then as time goes on, now there's some third-party manufacturers that can build better controllers than what the actual game console guys can do.
Well, that's the thing is that one of my favorite controllers for the PS2 that I ever had was a third-party controller. It was great. It worked. A buddy of mine had one that it was made by Mad Catz, but it was so well put together. It was smaller, but it felt better in your hands. It was just more comfortable.
Funny story, Mad Catz is going out of business.
Well, that's unfortunate.
I just heard this past week.
Yeah, I don't know, like
Well, actually, for me, I had the Game Boy Color growing up, right?
Right.
Like that was like aside from the Super Nintendo, I had the game controller,
the
or
accessories.
Game Boy Color rather. There's the Game Light.
The Worm Light.
The Worm Light. You stick that in, drains your battery like a motherfucker.
And it's like a shitty
Never
little-
had one. I was the only kid
What?
with a. Yeah, no, I never had one. I dealt with car rides where I was like, all right, there's light now. All right, move. Okay.
I did that with Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like when you're playing like this.
Yeah,
like, trying
just
to get the light. So I did eventually get the Worm Light. Like you said, it killed batteries, and at one point it would only work if it was in a certain position, and I'd have to play with one hand and hold it in the right position.
Yeah.
I remember staying up at night, sneaking to play my Game Boy when I should be sleeping with a fucking military flashlight.
Yeah.
Big green fucking flashlight that I would hold under my chin while I played under the blankets.
I had the original Game Boy.
The big gray shit.
Yep.
Green and black.
You've probably seen the pictures. I had the full setup. So you had the extra speakers that could connect to
Oh,
it,
did you
plug
have the
in,
big
the
magnifying...
big magnifying glass, the lights in the magnifying glass? I had
the
whole
joystick?
kit and
Did you have the
caboodle.
printer?
Didn't have the printer.
Damn.
With the webcam and everything.
But yeah, so I had this big honking unit of a Game Boy.
Yeah.
I miss my Game Boy.
See, and I get what else was there for the? Oh yeah,
The link cable.
I was the only kid with the link cable.
What?
Yeah.
I had one, my sister had one, and her friend had one. And I remember sitting in my friend's front porch, just sitting there like trading. Like I'd show up at his house and be like, hey, I have this, do you want to trade for this? And he's like, yeah. And we'd sit down and we'd trade. I'm like, all right, see ya.
Yeah, no, I was the only person that had link cable. I mean, I feel like Pokemon was really the only game that used it at all, right?
Yeah.
I think it did.
That anyone ever used it for. It obviously there were several games that used it, but
Wasn't it weird how it had like an end that would fit like onto Game Boys, but then it had a different end that nobody ever used or knew
well,
what it
yeah,
was
because there's one for Game Boy and then there's one for Game Boy Color. There were two different cables.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what it was.
See, me and all my friends, we all had the Game Boy Color, so
Of course.
it never got used.
No, so I mean they have to make everything.
We had the
backwards
original
compatible.
Game Boy, but we used to keep it in the.
I'm pretty sure I still have mine
we-
somewhere. I don't know if it would still work or not.
We had
but-
we had kept it in the bathroom, and I blame my sister for dropping it in the toilet too many times. But that thing got ruined.
Yeah. Imagine.
But I have her Game Boy Color now, so
There you go. I'll sit down and I'll replay Pokemon games from time to time. Of course, the batteries now in that thing are
I always
fried.
I'll
so-
always put an emulator on my phone and I'll play it there. Like I don't need an old Game Boy. I don't need anything that takes batteries. Is just nope. See ya.
There you go. So I mean,
That shit.
I just enjoy it. I mean, it's there's something about the old retro feel that I can just go to town and it's great.
Yeah, I remember having an adapter when my parents were like, "We're not buying any more fucking batteries." So I got an adapter that worked, and I used to use that up until a point. I tried to plug it in once, and my finger happened to be touching the prongs when I
get
plugged it in,
Oh,
and I
God.
shocked myself, and I never touched it since.
See, my mom bought me an adapter for mine, and I'm like, oh, cool! I can charge my batteries with this. So immediately what I do is I go and I plug it in. Like I think I got it for Christmas. I go and I plug it into the Game Boy and I plug it into the wall, and I just leave it there. And I walk back to where I was sitting, and Mom's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "It's an adapter."
I'm charging.
It's charging my Game Boy.
I didn't even say it was charging, right? She didn't even clue into what I was trying to do. I'm just like, and
I'm
she's like,
stupid.
"That's not." And then she figured it out. She's like, "That's not what it's." No,
Wow.
yeah, it's really funny.
Yeah, there was some. I guess now they have a lot of accessories now that VR is coming out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But do you remember when they first came out with the Wii Fit pad?
yeah.
Yes.
And everyone was losing their fucking minds over this
I
thing.
had one at one point.
I still have. I have two. And like they're like you can do yoga.
I should borrow one of yours.
Did anyone use the Wii Fit pad? Like,
I tried.
for a while.
I tried to use it once, and they were like, "All right, stand on." I was like, because I wanted to get back into shape, and I thought, maybe I can breathe better, be flexible. I'll try yoga to kind of get into, moving around and stuff. And they're like, "All right, stand on it and breathe." I'm like, "Well, I'm just standing on this pad and breathing. I don't really need the pad." And they're like, "All right, now get off the pad and do this pose." I'm like, "Well, the pad's gone now." And I was like, "Why the fuck do I have this?"
Why did I get the pad?
basically, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty useless, and it just calls everybody fat.
Well, I was just about to say that pad was essentially just a scale.
The BMI calculator on it was horrible.
Yeah.
Essentially, it was found to be super off.
Yeah.
Where it was
Yeah.
essentially, it was like, unless you were like, it was like, oh, if you're 6 foot, because I'm 6'4", it's like, you need to be 120 pounds. I'm like, I would die. Like, I would be dead. And my doctor's like, no, that's not, that wouldn't be a healthy weight for you at all.
Well, I mean, it's for Asians, right? It was initially built for Asians. That's why.
Oh, you went there.
No, I'm being serious. If like,
I don't care what ethnicity you are.
If you're 6'4", you
and 120 pounds, I can kick you in half.
you're a skeleton.
that's fine.
You're a
It's-
6'4" skeleton at that point.
I mean, I'm not trying to make it a race thing, but I mean,
You did make
you
it a
did
race.
make it a race thing. Whether you're trying or not, you succeeded.
Do you remember the original Wii commercials? We would like to play.
Oh,
We
yeah.
would
They were
like to
so
play.
simple.
Yeah, no, it's. I mean,
Just like
So
the
do you
Wii.
remember? So they had the Wii Sports, right?
sure.
Do you remember when they came out with all the attachments for the Wiimote, where it's like a shitty little plastic tennis racket, or
I
like
had
the golf club, the lightsaber? What game was that for? Lightsabers?
There was a lightsaber duel. I can't remember the name of the game specifically, though.
Yeah.
It was a terrible game. But the worst part was that with the lightsaber attachment on the controller,
Yeah.
it couldn't read the controller properly, so you couldn't really use it. So it was kind of pointless. But it was cool. You push a button and the lightsaber would light up on
I
it.
remember we were playing a Dragon Ball Z game where you had to punch with the Wiimotes in order to actually punch in the game, and we decided that we were gonna do it while facing each other in my buddy's basement. We punched some guy in the fucking face.
He probably deserved it.
Well, it's like, I mean, with those fighting games, right? You're like, they're like, face your opponent. You're like, all right. They're like, it's just like facing the TV, right? Like
Trying to see.
wherever the TV is. It's like you're like looking at your like the guy in front of you. You're like, like, what is this? This is fucking dumb.
I don't know.
Nintendo, give them shit for what you want, but
they've always been the accessory people.
they've
Yes.
always been trying to push the the envelope as far as what gaming in what direction gaming should go. And their accessories, the Virtual Boy, I mean, sure, I'll consider that an accessory for the moment, just because like it was meant to be.
Failed console.
People
Yeah.
were supposed to be like, this is supposed to be a portable console, right? Like you're supposed to stick this on your face, and then
Like a big fucking.
And then they
visor.
finally got the portable console right with the Switch.
to a point, yeah.
I don't know. The DS was quite popular, but also the Game Boy it's the most popular mobile.
Yeah, but that's more of a handheld. I'm talking a true portable console, and the fact that it's a complete powered console that you can take with you.
Okay, sure,
I
yeah.
But-
consider the Game Boy.
I know that's a minor gripe.
Oh my god.
So I had one of the most useless attachments for both the PS3 and the PS4 at the time.
Lay it on me.
That camera with the motion control.
Oh,
where they
the-
tried to copy the Wii.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, this is our answer to the Wii.
Oh, and they had
You
the
should-"
bulbs on the end.
Yeah.
PlayStation Move.
Oh
And
my
then
God.
there's like no games that really make use.
I was saying, I mean, like without the Wii, you wouldn't have that type of motion control.
Do
Right?
you remember
At
when
least,
they first came out with the Kinect?
yes.
They're like, your body's the controller, and then like it wouldn't respond to anything.
No, it wouldn't respond to shit. I mean,
The one thing that the Kinect was good at was the voice controls. When you'd be watching TV and a commercial would come on, it would turn on your Xbox on you.
it'd be like an Xbox commercial. I would say, okay, Xbox.
Oh
And
yeah,
it's like,
Aaron Paul was
Yeah.
turning on everyone's Xbox.
Yeah.
yeah. It's like
Yo,
Xbox.
Xbox.
Yo,
It's
Xbox.
like- it's like when Alex screams "Okay, Google" at me.
Okay, Google.
Yeah, don't. That's our timer. I don't know. It's kind of gotten to the point now where accessories are almost obsolete because what people want are being included into
Yeah.
things. Like the capabilities of things, I think, have gone beyond what.
The people making the game consoles now know basically what's the most useful for the games going forward, and they try to include as much as possible in with the console.
Yep.
So the only real accessories that you're getting are third-party versions of what's already provided with the actual console for the most part,
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
with some minor exceptions. But I mean, even then, like Microsoft has their own version of the little keyboard attachment that you can get for your controller. They have
But then you can use voice chat, so you don't really need to.
Yeah.
voice chat to control the system, but there's some games that would still like.
I guess that's for the kind of person who's like, I started a new character, and that 30 seconds of name input means everything to me.
It's not just that, but there's still games like DC Universe that's an MMO where you have in-game chat that's not voice chat.
Yeah, but nobody likes DC because they have Batman.
I hate you right now.
Batman's a bag of shit.
I mean, if they
You're
were
a
to if they were to
shit.
start doing like proper MMOs on consoles like that were good,
Well, Elder Scrolls Online is on console.
Sure.
But they don't have the type out chat. They have voice chat. So you can if you play it on a console, you join the chat groups in the areas the same as you would in a type group, only it uses your
yeah,
microphone.
they're just setting up for
But I would
what you can do on
always
PC with Discord.
I would always that's essentially what it was. But I would always leave those because you wind up walking into a town and you get guys running around screaming obscenities and
Yeah,
you get
just trying to
screechers. They're
get-
just
yeah,
like
just trying
yeah.
to get attention.
autistic screeching. Anyway,
That's essentially what
I
it
don't know.
was.
Lessons learned.
Lessons learned: video games are weird. Video game accessories are weird, and we should all just move to VR now.
My lesson learned is the same lesson I learned at most of these episodes, and I'm old, and I remember a lot of old things.
Yeah, I don't know. Lessons learned, most accessories are useless, but stay tuned for the Words Are Hard accessories, where we're going to attach the Alex translator. Hey guys, thanks for watching that episode of the Words Are Hard show. Be sure to leave in the comments below your favorite or least favorite video game accessories for us. Also be sure to leave a topic along with a suggestion, and we'll put your topic into the randomizer, and if your topic's drawn, we'll do your suggestion to the best of our abilities. You can check us out on social media. We got Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram in the description below. You can also check out our merch store, where we have all kinds of sweet merchandise that would really not help us out because we don't see a penny of that, but it's a lot of fun. If you want to subscribe to the channel, you can click the channel icon between Alex and I here. If you want to watch the previous episode, you can click it right here. Thanks for watching.